What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talking Mets with Rob, episode 7. Thank you for tuning in. This will be the first episode on my YouTube channel. I will post a link on all my social media pages so you can take a look at the YouTube channel and watch the episode. Please subscribe. Thank you for listening. So, the last time I spoke to you guys, not much has happened. Guess what? The Mets still didn't do nothing. So, what I'm thinking right now is it's still going to take a lot of time with Springer and Bauer. But between the last time I spoke to you and now, the San Diego Padres basically are World Series contenders. Why is that? Because they traded for Blake Snell and they also traded for Darvish. So I mean that was just a news that was like Sunday night into Monday morning, early Monday morning. You wake up, everybody saw on Twitter breaking news: Blake Snell traded from Tampa Bay to the Padres, and then not too long after that, basically that night into the next morning again, they got Darvish. So San Diego is really trying to catch up to the Dodgers, and I really think they can. I mean, they got a really good offer team. They got young players, which is very interesting. So before I get a little bit more into the Mets news, I wanted to get a tell you guys a question that somebody put on my website about the Mets, and he listens to all the episodes. His name is Jose Urena. So just listen to the question and I'll answer it.
Yo, Rob, what's going on, man? It's Joselito. I'm calling out, man, to let you know, man. Congratulations on your podcast. Hope everything goes well. Hope it blows up real big. Um, Let me know, man. I'll join your podcast. See if we can talk a little about baseball, man. Talk about our Mets. See what we can do. I got a quick question about the Mets, though, man. See if you can answer this for me. Um, Shorted up the catcher. We shorted up one of the back end rotations. What do you think is the press need necessary that the Mets should take for the next step to shore up either third base, outfield? What is the next important step that they need to do?
All right. So that was Joselito Urena answering that question. So he asked, what's the next step after we got our catcher and we solidified a little bit more of the back end of the bullpen with May and McCann? So I feel like Springer's next on the menu, but recent news in the last few hours and last day or two, the numbers came out a little bit about how much these two players are looking for. Starting with Springer, um, seems like he wants a little bit more than 150,000, 150 million, 160 million for 5 years. Um, I probably would go more 125. I wouldn't go much higher than that. I feel like it's not really, it's a lot of money for, in a little bit agent of a center fielder, even though he's still one of the best center fielders in baseball, offensively and defensively. But he is getting up there in age, you know. But if you can give him a 5 year deal, even I don't think money's really the issue. I think it's the amount of years, and it seems like this is going to drag throughout the month of January, which sucks for us Met fans who are expecting, get this guy, get that guy, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It just seems like that way, but it's not. And when it comes to with Springer and the teams that are interested in him, it seems like it's just the Mets and the Blue Jays, as I said the last episode. But I really think that he will probably choose between the Blue Jays and the Mets, and I think the Blue Jays really gonna have to go over of what the Mets would offer. Like if the Mets offer say 5 years, 140, I think the Blue Jays would have to get up to 5 years, 160. Only because it's Toronto and they don't know where they're gonna play. I don't know if he really wants to go to Toronto. It might be more of a bargaining tool to get the Mets to up their deal a little bit. But I think Springer will be a Met. Uh, with Bauer and the news that we heard with Andy Martino and a couple other John Heyman also. He's looking for 5 to 6 years, around 36 to 40 million a year. That's, I mean, no, I'm sorry. Garrett Cole got 36 million from the Yankees for 100 years, basically. I would not give Bauer that much money. I mean, that might be just a bargaining tool. Start high, then work your way down. That's just just agent talk, basically. But I don't really think that it's really he's not good enough. If you really think about it, he's not good enough. I mean, yeah, he had a Cy Young season with 11 starts, 170 ERA. He was good, really good. I mean, it was his best in his career. But every other year, except for I believe 2018, if I'm not mistaken, he had a 2.2 ERA. Every other year, he was a 4 ERA pitcher. Now, is he growing into his own? Is he maturing as a pitcher? Is he getting better as a pitcher? Like DeGrom? I mean, he was around the same age when DeGrom really took off as a Met. So it's possible that he just found it. It's possible. But are you willing to give between 36 and $40 million? I know I wouldn't. I'm sorry. It's maybe 30 million. If you want to really get him, maybe if you have to fight with the Angels or another team, I would go 31, 32, but I'm not going more than that. Especially, 5, 6 years. I think that's fine. I cannot pay Bauer 36 to 40 million when he got the Grom making 26 million. I mean, I'm sorry. He's not better than DeGrom. He's not better than Cole. At least at this moment, he's not. So I don't it's pointless to pay that much money. If that's the case, let's get Jake Odorizzi or Taiwan Walker and bolster up the bullpen even more with Hand or Hendricks. Might as well go that route. So I think Springer's gonna sign probably in the next couple of weeks, maybe middle of January. And I feel like it's gonna be a bidding war between the Blue Jays and the Mets. With Bauer, it just seems that it's just gonna drag along. I mean, baseball is doing a terrible job exciting their fans. Like, if the Padres didn't make that move, these two moves, there would be nothing going on. Like trades. And it just it frustrates me as a baseball fan because I get excited during the offseason with the winter meetings and what's going on, especially, even with the Wilpons all these years, we always were, oh my God, it would be so great to get this guy, get that guy. And we end up with middle of the pack free agents. And it was just still exciting for us Met fans because it was just the anticipation. But this year, when we know we have the money, we got Cohen, we got his deep pockets. It just seems like, hey, let's go get this guy. We don't have to wait around, see if we get a bargain. But it just seems like the players also are just going to wait around and you know play around with offers, you know, leak out, oh, I want this much money, and then it becomes news. So I really think baseball has really screwed the fans over the years, the last couple of years. Like, there should be no reason why any player should be on the market nearly around when pitchers and catchers uh go to spring training. Like, why is it the end of January, early February when big market guy free agents are not signed and they're signing like a couple of years ago with Machado and Harper? I mean, it's ridiculous. It sucks. It really does. It sucks for the teams. It sucks for the player, and it sucks for the fans. You're not helping the issue. You're trying to help the game, move the game forward. Obviously, NBA and NFL took large leaps into exciting their fan base. I mean, look at the NBA and the NFL. How fast free agency happens. As soon as free agency hits, even a day or two before, you're hearing all these rumors. And what happens? In like a week and a half, almost all the big free agents are signed. I mean, it's great. You know what it does? This is what it does if everything happens in about a 2 to 3 week span. What is the first thing? Well, just think of it this way. You got all the players signed, big or small, free agents. You got trades that are happening. And what does that do? The fans start speaking on both social media. You go on sports talk radio. People talk about the moves, who they signed, who they didn't sign. It's great. And what I think Major League Baseball should do, they should make a 30-day signing period for all free agents. If you want to start in December when the winter meetings are, and you can have that 4 to 5 days of the winter meetings, but give it 30 days. Say the whole all of December, from December 1st all the way to the 31st. You'll have the signing of the free agent period. So what does that do? That keeps everybody involved. That makes everybody watch the shows. SNY, yes, whatever you want to listen to. Sports talk radio, always on Twitter, always on social media, trying to find out what's going on. Wouldn't it be nice to, for 1 month, that all the free agents are going to sign? It's just a matter of the anticipation where they're going to go. That's important. I really think it's important, and that would be great. I think Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, whoever the hell in that front office needs to in Major League Baseball offices has to really talk about, like, how do you get the young fans more viewers? The diehards are going to come, but you want to get the younger fans, the people who are not excited about baseball. Why are they not excited about baseball? Not just the game on the field. When you drag out and nothing goes on for months on end and no big free agent signs, it gets boring. Nobody cares except for me or you, the listeners. You're going to get excited because every day you're looking on Twitter on your phone all this time. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hurry up. What's going on? Nothing. Oh, great. Like, there was no reports at all about Bauer and Springer for a couple of days. I know it was Christmas, but there was nothing going on. And then today you hear the news about what these guys want or what was leaked out. So I think it's amazing to me that Major League Baseball continues to fuck up and screw everything up when it comes to the offseason. I know it was a little harder with the virtual winter meetings. They didn't go, to a nice fancy hotel in whatever state and enjoy the winter meetings, and you know these players are going to meet with this team in this hotel room and vice versa, whatever's going on. Nothing really, you didn't really hear much. So I think it's really important for Major League Baseball to set a better standard, a better system for the offseason. Such like, we'll have the 30-day free agent period. In that 30 days, all the free agents have to sign. Give the teams a little bit of motivation to sign free agents, and give these players a little bit of motivation to sign because they have to. There's deadlines, just like the trade deadline in July. You got to do that. You can't just keep on playing around and, you got to wait 3 months until one player, two players signs or the big free agents sign. And then what does that do during that time? Say if Springer and Bauer don't sign until the end of January, early February. What does that do? That hinders the Mets. That hinders the Blue Jays. That hinders the Angels, the Yankees, so forth. All the teams that are trying to bid for this stuff, these free agents. What does that do? That's like, wow, we can't make a trade right now because what happens if we do sign Bauer and Bauer takes our offer? So you can't do trades. You can't sign more people. You can't go to the second tier free agents because the second tier free agents ain't going anywhere and ain't signing until the big free agents do. I don't think Jake Odorizzi, Taijuan Walker, whatever mid-level starting pitchers out there, they're not going to sign until Bauer signs, after Bauer. The same thing with uh, Bradley Jr. The same thing with every other outfield free agent. They're not going to sign until Springer signs because they want to set the market. They want these guys to set the market. So it boggles my mind why baseball just sits there twiggling their thumbs all day and not putting their hands down and saying, this is the rule. This is the deadline for this. This is the deadline for that. If you want to do arbitration eligible players, you want to do that from the end of the World Series until December 1st, or you want to do it from November 1st until December 1st, you want to do that, you can do that. Have ARB eligible players 30 days from November until the end of November, beginning to end of November. And then with that, you kind of know what players are going to be give the contracts to the players that they already have on their team, and then you'll know if they're going to come free agents or they're still going to stay with their team. And then in December, from December 31st, I'm sorry, December 1st until the end of December, make that be the free agent period. You have to sign within those days, and there's a deadline. So it forces these players and teams to spend money and the players to take a deal and not just sit around for 2, 3 months, just sitting there and having Bauer and his agent talk blah, 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 all this shit on social media, on Twitter every day. Going, treating John Heyman like shit because he said, this is what Bauer wants. And I couldn't get in touch with his agent because she didn't answer when I asked. And then she comes back saying she was on a plane. And then Bauer says, well, he should get the story straight. So it's like, no fan wants to hear that. This is not exciting. I don't care if Bauer doesn't like John Heyman. I don't care if John Heyman doesn't like Bauer. I don't care if the agent don't like John Heyman. It's getting ridiculous. Like it was cute in the beginning when they were on social media. Oh, how nice, yay, yeah, I like to be on social media. I'm gonna put on a cap of every team that I think will sign me, and then talk about it so the fans can talk about it. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, can we act like adults? I don't think it's fun. It was cute in the beginning, but now it's stupid. It's like baby shit now. I like Bauer. I don't mind having him. I'm not giving him $36 million or $40 million, but it's like baseball has to come up with deadlines during the offseason of free agency, all eligible players, and if you want to do about a 2 week Rule 5 draft or a couple of days, they need to have that in order. So by middle of January, a lot of the teams know where they are. All the free agents are signed, and if they didn't get the free agents they were covered in, what would they do? They would try for trades, or they would stay pat. But this is it's insane. Like the Padres, all right, they made trades, but they didn't sign anybody. Who signed? Nobody. No, went on. Besides those two trades, and it was both for one team. Like I think it's outrageous, and I don't think it's fair to the fans. And they just keep on hurting this game that we all love. So I think it's extremely important for baseball to really look at this over the offseason. I know it's going to be a problem because the CBA is coming up after this year. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? But hopefully, baseball can get this together and just have deadlines for everything during the offseason because it's crazy. Like you, as much the Mets have needs, they need a center fielder. They need to bolster their rotation. If Springer and Bauer is not signed with the Mets or another team, the Mets and everybody else who's involved with these players can't move on. They can't say, "Oh, let's make this trade," because they don't have no idea what these guys are going to do. So everybody's just sitting there like waiting for the phone to ring, and nobody's calling anybody for them to pick up the phone. So it's getting ridiculous. So I think they got to really get it together. On another note, a lot of the Steve Cohen stuff on Twitter is a little interesting lately, especially after the Padres made the deal for Snell. And Cohen on Twitter said he wants to, you know, he gives credit to the San Diego Padres because they have a top five minor league system. And then basically said the Mets farm system sucks and that's why they couldn't do anything. Technically, that's true. We get that. We understand that. But the problem that we're all having is that I don't want to hear that from the owner. We know that we're not stupid. I mean, I know he didn't say that to be stupid, and say, hey, listen, guys, we can't do this trade because we didn't have the prospects. I don't think he meant it like that, but there needs to be some action. I know it's not all the Mets' fault. It's also on the players also, but I think it's crazy to really just have them continuing to go out there and say things like this. Like, all right, we know we didn't have the prospects to get Snow. I mean, The Padres gave two of their top 10 prospects out of the four to the Rays for Snell. And then with Darvish, I feel like the Mets could have been involved. Maybe they didn't like Darvish. I don't know. But were they in talks with the Cubs? I don't think we'll know that. Maybe until one of the reporters actually get a little bit of a rumor stating that the Mets were in on it and the Padres just had a better deal. But they didn't really give up much. I think they gave up two of their top 10 to 20 prospects. I think they were ranked between 10 and 20 in the farm system. I mean, is there two players that were ranked from 10 to 20? If they were in the Mets organization, would it be in the top five? I mean, maybe, but I don't think we had what it took to get Darvish either, even though it wasn't a lot that the Padres gave up. So I'm a little frustrated right now as a Met fan because I felt like we would at least had another signing after McCann, even if it wasn't Springer or Bauer, which I would kind of hope Springer would have been done, but I didn't think Bauer was going to be done anytime soon. But I really do think that I really thought that Springer was going to be signed already, even if it wasn't with the Mets. I thought he would just right before Christmas or after Christmas it would have been done. But I'm getting a little worried now because is it the Mets and good old Sandy Alderson? We respect him. We love him because of 2015 and everything like that. But is he's the same guy. He's the Moneyball guy, right? That's why the Mets brought him in all those about 10 years ago, and why Major League Baseball brought Sandy Alderson in to control to help the books of the Mets, to help the payroll of the Mets because of the Ponzi scheme. You know, is he that guy? You know, is he still that guy that he's looking for the best possible deal? Yeah, that's good business. I understand that, but let's be real. We got the richest owner in baseball. Like, are you going to really cry about $10 extra million for Springer when you really need this guy? And what it does to this team if you get Springer and put him in the middle of that lineup and put him in center field, that gives you options. If you don't, you can use Nimmo, you can use Rosario, you can use Davis, you can use a package like that to get Lindor, and then your left fielder can be Dom Smith or whichever way you want to put it. But it gives us options. Us just nitpicking about a few $1,000,000 is not helping his team. I understand Cohen in the news in when he answered questions a few days ago. He said that we're going to go over the luxury tax, but probably not this year. That's okay. But we were about $68 million under the luxury tax. So like, I think it's really beneficial for us to use that money. And if you can get Bauer and Springer, that basically hits that mark of the luxury tax. Maybe a little bit under, but like if you don't if we happen to lose out on Springer and Bauer, what are we gonna do? Do you trust Nimmo in center field? He's okay. I like Nimmo, but do we trust him? I don't know. There's no DA, so Smith's gonna have to play left field. Okay, I like Smith, but he's not a left fielder. Can he do it? Yeah. But are you gonna really, then if you don't get if you don't get Bauer, you're probably gonna get Odorizzi, you're probably gonna get Taiwan Walker, one of those guys, maybe both, or they're going to do a trade. Luis Castillo was brought up, maybe. Could it be Kluber? He's been injured, so it just seems like as much as we were excited as Met fans, knowing that we had the richest owner in baseball, nobody said he was going to buy everybody on the market, but when we have needs, and we do have needs, do we need a center fielder? Hell yeah. Do we need a starting pitcher? Damn right. Why not just get Bauer and Springer? I doubt he's going to get $36 million, Bauer. I think he can get 30, especially when a team that needed pitching, as the San Diego Padres did, they didn't wait. They made their moves because they could. They made those trades for Darvish and Snell. So Bauer has a limited amount of teams that are probably going to want him and can afford him. And that's the Mets, the Angels, possibly the Blue Jays. I don't think anybody else is gonna go. I don't think the Yankees are gonna go after him because they still have to figure out DJ LeMahieu. And speaking of LeMahieu, I don't think the Mets are gonna get LeMahieu. I mean, I don't know how smart it is to do that, especially when you still didn't solidify anything else on your roster, especially when Springer hasn't signed. I think if Springer would have signed with the Mets or the Blue Jays or whoever, I think the Mets would have. If the Mets didn't get Springer, I think they would go after LeMahieu and then figure out the infield or use a couple of those guys to bolster up the outfield. Maybe I don't know. Maybe to make that trade with Lindor, or you know couldn't get Springer, so you're gonna go to Jackie Bradley Jr. He can't hit, but he play defense. But we've seen that over the years of Mets center fielders that can't hit. Even though Nimmo hit pretty good, he wasn't. I I don't know how much I can trust Nimmo in center field. Can he be competent? Yeah, but if you don't get Bauer and you're gonna have DeGrom, best pitcher in baseball, you're gonna have Stroman, you're gonna have um, Peterson, Syndergaard, May or June, maybe earlier, and then what do you got? You're gonna have to have a good defense behind them, and we got better defensively in at catcher, but I don't know. But to finalize everything for this episode, as a fan, and I know you guys are too, you're probably frustrated with this whole offseason right now, and nobody's signing. Padres making big moves. The Mets are just sitting around. Cohen's on Twitter saying, "I'm going to call Porter, see what's going on." Nothing's going on. Then the news today about what Springer and Bauer want. So I don't know, guys. I really think that hopefully, when I speak to you again in the next episode, after New Year's, hopefully we get some good news. Maybe the Mets make a signing. We get anything. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. 2 weeks since we got McCann. So you know, I hope we get a nice New Year's gift, if you want to say that. Maybe Springer, maybe Bauer, maybe we'll get a bullpen piece. I don't know, but let's hope that we do something because it would really suck if we lose out on Springer and then we probably have to put all our money on Bauer, just to get one of these big free agents, and so it wouldn't be a complete disaster. So thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, go to my YouTube channel. The link's going to be on my social media pages, on my bio. On my social media pages, you can find the YouTube channel. You can watch this episode 7. Thank you for listening. Let's go Mets.